fact, you know what? Let's start over. Let's start over because the volume was up too high from yesterday. All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Test Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host, and
Karen.
we're live on a Tuesday, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere you get podcasts. The official weapon of the show
The
is an
taser.
unofficial
What
sport,
about?
a bullet ball extreme, extreme. Let's get right into it. Okay, there's tons of stuff to talk about. All right. All kinds of show stuff. I think we can get into some segments and stuff if that's okay with you, unless you got something to say before we start.
At least I don't think I do this time. No, we don't talk about everything.
Okay, we done talked about everything, so we can go ahead and get into the show. Oh wait, we did. I forgot to mention we did go on a $200 date,
Oh, we did.
and it wasn't even no ass eating afterwards. So I guess
It was not.
the I did Black Twitter wrong, and I apologize and let everybody down.
I let him down too. No.
But yeah, it's this thing we like to do where we go on Instagram, and you can probably do this in the city you're in, but you follow like your city and the local food scene, because there's always like a blogger or a company or a group of people who've taken it upon themselves to promote local restaurants and stuff, and they post videos promoting these restaurants and stuff. And so especially when I was in New York, I was missing home. I would look on my Instagram and see like, oh, a new restaurant opened, or this place I never heard of.
Shit, this bars of Charlotte. I was like, what the fuck is that at? What's that street?
You got a lot of new restaurants opening because our city's ever expanding. And so I bookmark I tag Karen in the comments to these restaurants, like, yo, we gotta try this, we gotta try this, we gotta try that. And so I bookmarked the restaurants, and you can share bookmarks now, so you can share like a thing where you can both save restaurants or save whatever
And the food looks absolutely delicious.
Sometimes,
and some of them are actually, like you said, bloggers. Some are like local foodies, like that. I'm just a foodie in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And then some of them do a variety of foods. And some of them is like, hey, we just searching the nigga spots. And you be like, oh, okay, cool. So the list is a little bit everywhere.
So yeah, we went to this restaurant, 204 North, I think is what it was called. Because they just had these great looking dishes on the social media.
They did.
And we just ate to our heart's content, and came home, and I fell asleep at like 6 because I was so full, and woke up at like 1 in the morning and couldn't go back to sleep.
You was gone.
But yeah, it was so good, and I was just it's something I wanted to suggest just generally for people, whether you want to go out with a loved one, you want to go out by yourself, you want to go out with friends.
Particularly if you're like new to a city, this is a great way to find a lot of good restaurants around you.
Yeah, and it's also a great way to hang out and see your friends and stuff like that. And it was something that you never really hear people talk about. Then when we talk about vacation, self-care, taking time off and stuff, people are thinking about like getting out of their city, which is nothing wrong with that. People are thinking about taking multiple long periods of time off. This was just in Saturday afternoon when it was kind of right before everything picks up at like 5 or 6,
right?
And right after everything dies down at lunch. We're downtown, and it's like expensive, because I don't know about y'all, it might not be shit to y'all, but $200 is still $200 when you add all the drinks and stuff together.
Right.
But it was really good. It was a very good value for your money, and it was like a relaxing vacation within the confines of our city.
Yes. It's like people say, it's almost a mini staycation. I know a lot of people turn their nose and shit up at that, but sometimes that's actually what you need, because sometimes you need a break, but you don't want to travel far. You don't want to go like it's not so funny. It's a to do if you start kind of going and traveling outside. Be it you thinking about renting a car, if you don't have a car, like it is a whole thing. When a lot of times you could just be like, hey, let me check out within my city, within my budget, and have a great time.
Yeah, there was a guy the other day on Twitter. We were making jokes about something. And he said something to the effect of like, my wife doesn't like when I make jokes about, we went to the grocery store, and I'll call it a date. I said like we went on a date to the grocery store. We went on a date to you know, get the run errands or something. And I mean, it was funny, but then I was like, that's your wife, and hopefully it's just all 100% jokes.
Jokes, yeah.
But I was like, no, you never really stop dating the person you're with. Like if you were gonna go out, if you were dating on an app and you wanted to go out somewhere nice and spend money and impress this person, you'd still do it. So just because, y'all got rings on, that doesn't mean you stop doing shit like that. So, go out and have fun. It doesn't have to, y'all know each other's budget. You don't gotta be no elaborate like
you ain't got the ball.
shit, but like go out and do some nice stuff. It's worth it. So all right, that's all. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And it really is. I really appreciated it because it was out the blue, and like Roger said, the food was great. And then we went to one of my favorite ice cream spots, Two Scoops, and actually really, really enjoyed myself. I think sometimes people get in a routine with their mate or significant other, and they don't really think about the things that kind of cause you to fall in love with the people or person. And so, it's the little things that continue to actually make you refall in love with your significant other. Sometimes I think people have a tendency to forget that sometimes because they get used to a routine, and this is what we do on Mondays, this is what we do too. Like they get stuck in that versus realizing that, hey, there's little small things around them. Like if you have a significant other that likes museums, go to the museums. Like when we went to that illusion place, that was a fun adventure. It was,
and it's not even, like I said, it's not even just romantic. Like do it if you're single, do it with a friend. It's like, go out and do stuff. Is if because I'm just saying it because going out reminded me of like, oh yeah, you got to do this. And that conversation was in the back of my head, that guy going, man, I just called going to the store date. I'm like, yeah, I mean, funny joke, but
yeah, that ain't the same.
There's some truth to every joke, and you hope that it's not too true.
Ain't that the truth?
All right, now let's get into some segments and stuff. Let's start with some LGBTQ news.
Let me see what you want to be. You better move your body. You better move your feet. And I want to groove. Show me what's cool. Riding, caring, baby. LGBTQ news.
I try to think it's down, but we're still around. We still shine, but we on the ride. You can't do what to do. Black guy who tips.
LGBTQ news.
All right, let's talk about it. It's Pride Month, 20 days into Pride Month. So, there's lots of LGBTQ news to cover. The SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, names Moms for Liberty an extremist group for their anti-LGBTQ plus activism.
Well, them names don't ever match what the fuck they stand for, do they?
It's always the opposite of whatever it is. So if it's Moms for Liberty, it means it's really Dads for Fascism.
Come on.
Like it's never what they say. The group is 5 men that's not married that hate gay people.
Right.
The Watchdog organization tracks and designates hate groups around the country, and recently released the 2022 edition of the Year in Hate and Extremism report. This edition names the Florida-based Moms for Liberty as a group at the forefront of the mobilization of right-wing extremist groups claiming to fight for parents' rights in schools at the local level. They can be spotted at school board meetings across the country, wearing shirts and carrying signs that declare, "We do not co-parent with the government." The report states, the group hijacks meetings, preventing officials and parents from conducting their normal proceedings. I can be sitting in a meeting minding my own business, and they turn around and scream at me that I am a commie and teachers want to see all kids fail. A teachers union president in Brevard County, Florida, explained to the Washington Post reporter. The report acknowledges that riling up conservatives by espousing family values and parental rights is not in itself a new tactic, but says Moms for Liberty activities may make it clear that the group's primary goal are to fuel right-wing hysteria and to make the world a less comfortable place for certain students, primarily those are Black, LGBTQ, or come from LGBTQ families.
Agreed. And it's similar to Target and the trespassing shit. Like, I'm like, arrest them, the fuck them. Well, the fuck is this? You're disrupting progress. Like, I don't understand. You know, it's very frustrating. You know, it's like you coming in here and your whole purpose is to disrupt. And I understand that that's the purpose of protest. And that's not funny. And all they're doing is mimicking Black Lives Matter and all these other organizations. They will, it worked for them, so it'll work for us too.
Yeah, it's just interesting because like the first feeling and impulse that we have is like, why just arrest them, throw them in jail or whatever. But at the same time, those are the same tools that are used to disrupt for good sometimes.
Yes.
And we don't want those people thrown in jail because they showed up to the city council and made their voice heard about racism or sexism. Or so they're using the public forum and freedom of speech, but they're still very hateful. Right. They're still harassing people. And their goals ultimately are to make the world a worse place for certain students. And it's not even stuff students are asking for.
No.
You know? And I think if you go up the pipe a little bit further, you'll find out that this all comes from like conservative movements.
Follow the money. Somebody's backing this.
Yeah, that are
this big.
That are using identity to stir up more division in the nation, or I shouldn't even say stir up more division, but to exploit the divisions that already exist. Donald Trump mocks Republicans for giving him a standing ovation for attacking trans people. This makes sense to me because Donald Trump is not really a leader on the hatred. He's a person that rides the waves. He's a guy that sees which way a wave is going, and he never stands up against it. Like, he may have been surprised by the vitriol or even like whatever, but him mocking it doesn't mean he will not now use it. I can see if I can play this clip. I hate to play clips on the show, but whatever. Just so people can kind of hear it in the context.
Right.
And to further deter illegal immigration, I will sign a day one executive order ending automatic citizenship for the children of illegal. Automatic citizenship.
Oh wait, this is what? That's not the clip. This is the
critical race theory, transgender insanity, other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children. It's amazing how strongly people feel about that. You see, I'm talking about cutting taxes. People go like that. Talk about transgender. Everyone goes crazy. Who would have thought 5 years ago you didn't know what the hell it was? But a
lot of truth in
right. I'm gonna say that's the truth, though.
A lot of truth in that. Like when it was abortion or anti-black shit, that was the movement of the time. But moving away from that, they've now gotten into specifically transgender. I wouldn't even say it like I think they ultimately are anti-LGBTQ, the whole thing, but specifically they focus on transgender people intently. And the fact that he got a standing ovation, he noted that. And he noted that that's a change. Like, it's not, and that's not the kind of thing that he'll shy away from. I guarantee you he'll be bringing up transgender people even more because that's why they do it. That's why the other politicians do it too. Because it's the people in the audience too. They're not being fed anti-trans stuff. They want anti-trans stuff. Like, it's not like they're not being force-fed it, put it that way. Like, the politicians are mirroring what these people believe and carry out, Yeah,
and it's one of those things to when you look at it and Donald Trump only cares about Donald Trump. And so he, like you said, he's making a note. So we're probably going to hear more of this rhetoric because he go, oh, that's what y'all want. That's what y'all going to get,
because he doesn't have a line. It's not like he said that and went, wow, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. He said that and went, okay, so I don't really need to talk about taxes. I mean, it's the same shit he did with race in the first one. He don't, I don't need to talk about that shit then. Cool. I'll just keep talking about the cultural shit.
And also, it's one of those things where they divide kind of amongst the group, and if the group isn't smart enough and intelligent enough to be like, hey, y'all shouldn't be doing this, and calling them out, it causes problems. They do it with black people. That's why they have a small percentage black for Trumps. And, black people like, niggas, what's wrong with y'all? But also in the LGBTQ Q plus community, a lot of times it's division within that own group. There are people that are of them other letters that look at the trans people like, I don't know about y'all, but ain't we all supposed to be united? So that's why even within the own group, you have people that don't want to even stand up for the people that they're supposed to be representing. They don't separate y'all. I hope y'all know that. Just like they look at us all the same, they look at y'all all the same. No matter what letter you fall on, they look at you all the same. So if they're attacking one of the letters, they're attacking all of the letters. But you do have a lot of people within the group that don't care for that particular group either.
An Indiana judge blocks a ban on gender affirming care for trans youth, which is a good thing. The ACLU is calling it a victory. A federal judge blocked an Indiana law signed by Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb in April that bans gender affirming care for trans youth in the state. The preliminary injunction was issued by U.S. District Judge James Patrick Hanlon, a Trump appointee, who wrote that plaintiffs had some likelihood of success on their claims that the ban was unconstitutional. Hours after the governor signed the bill on April 5th, the ACLU and its Indiana affiliate filed suit on behalf of 4 trans youth and their families, arguing that the law violates the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, which guarantees equal protection for all. The suit also asserts that the law is in violation of the Affordable Care Act's Medicaid Act by banning essential services that Medicaid would otherwise authorize and reimburse. So that's a good victory. That's a good win. Mm-hmm. You love to see it. It's a judge, so it could be temporary. It's going to continue to go up the system. And this is actually part of the process. This is what these Republican politicians want when they put these bills into effect. They know that they're going to have constitutional challenges. And what they're hoping is that it goes to the Supreme Court, and a year from now, 2 years from now, however long from now, the Supreme Court with the Republican majority would basically say, fuck them civil rights. We have the power. Fuck the reasoning. We're deciding no.
Right, because a lot of their decisions they make isn't based on any logic. It's like they pick and choose where they want to go and where they want to fall. And it's like, well, you're not actually following any law. You're not like when you even when they write their dissents, you're like, but what the fuck did that got to do with the goddamn law?
Mm-hmm. A newsroom staff revolts against managers who told them to cover fewer Pride events. A local TV newsroom is facing a staff revolt over guidance about covering Pride events in June. The all-staff memorandum distributed Tuesday instructed reporters and producers to cover fewer Pride events and also to get both sides of the issue. What the fuck could both sides be?
Right! It's a fucking Pride event.
What the fuck could both sides of a Pride event be? What does that mean?
The people fucking protesting. Don't nobody give a fuck about them.
What does that mean, dog? And what else do y'all do that with?
Right.
Hey, we're having a march for we want to have an anti-violence march. Well, we got to get some people that's in the violence. What do they think about it?
Yeah, we're having a Juneteenth parade. Well, we got to get the people on the other side.
Yeah.
The fuck?
What about June 18th people? What about the June 20th? The memo for management at Wood TV Channel 8 in Grand Rapids, Michigan, was shared with the Detroit Free Press and went on to say that the station had heard pushback from viewers who are not happy to see those Pride-related stories, adding that while you personally may not agree with a certain position, people are entitled to their opinions and they are our viewers. Bitch, this ain't the customer always right. This ain't Burger King.
You covering the community, the entire community.
See, this is the bullshit, dog, because like, and this is not denigrating black people. I'm black. I love being black. There are black people that are LGBTQ also, but this is a thing we do not deal with.
Right.
Like if they were covering the Juneteenth parade and there were some viewers who called in to say, I don't like that, the fucking news station wouldn't have the fucking gall to be like, well, some of people that watch our TV station don't like that there's a Juneteenth parade. So we decided to get both sides of them and cover back on the coverage of the event. We'd be like, what kind of racist shit is this?
Right.
So that, to me, that's how I look at this shit. Where I'm like, what kind of motherfucking homophobic ass trying to see both sides shit is this? It's a pride parade.
Right. The end. Who the fuck cares about the bigots?
Yeah, like when it's Black History Month, I'm sure there's people that don't like that y'all cover Black History shit. So suck my dick. Change the fucking channel.
Same thing with Asian Pacific Islander month. Yeah, right.
So y'all doing this for every month, or it's just the gay month? That was like, I mean, come on, guys, it's kind of getting controversial out there. This is what's wrong with this country, is that we cede so much fucking ground to white people, to bigoted people, to privileged people, because they don't feel comfortable, because they don't like something. Well, I don't give a fuck. Like, we have to stop being like, well, let's get their side of it. We know their side.
Right. We hear them all of the time.
So the memo, was met with immediate pushback from the newsroom. The goddess is not being followed, said Luke Steer, an executive producer at the station. The only two people involved in this creation have been removed from any discussions surrounding Wood TV Pride coverage, as our corporation conducts a thorough investigation. Okay, I love this. Executive producer, like, we not doing that shit, and the people that even suggested that shit are no longer involved with decision makings.
Right, because obviously you can't make good decisions because we have to cover everything within the community, and they are part of the community.
A news anchor, Michelle DeSelms, wrote, our newsroom immediately stood up to the two managers who wrote a memo mandating we cover the other side of Pride events, essentially requiring us to give equal time to hate and discrimination. We said no, and we'll continue to fight for our LGBTQ colleagues and family members. That's another thing. Just from sheer fucking percentage-wise, you know you got some people that work there that fall within the community of LGBTQ.
Right.
Period.
You got family members, extension. You're right. People
Somebody
that they care
worked there.
about. Right.
So what the fuck? So then when you go to like the job and you have an issue, or you want to talk about diversity, inclusion, or training, these motherfuckers work there too? They ain't get the memo? The other memo that, not the one they sent out, but the memo that comes out in training about this discrimination and shit.
Yeah, the one you had to watch the videos look like they from 1980s telling you not to do shit.
An unnamed source at the station confirmed news director Stanton Tang was one of the individuals responsible for the all staff memorandum.
Somebody was like, shh, don't tell him I told you.
You ain't heard it from me.
You ain't heard it from me.
But Stanton Tang out here saying that bullshit.
You know what? I'm the tea is hot, but you ain't hear from me.
Reached by phone, Tang would neither confirm or deny he was an author of the goddess. Now that's funny when you're a news person and you do the reach by phone. It's like, I don't know what's happening.
Well, then why did you do it if you couldn't stand behind it?
Right. When asked which managers wrote the memo, Tang referred LGBTQ Nation to the station's general manager, Julie Brinks. Well, I guess we found it too. I don't know. She didn't answer a call for comment.
Of course. Right. What did that girl say? The first thing about being in news, you don't want to be the story.
Right.
That's what a girl said. You ain't know.
Mm-hmm. Rachel Nichols.
The first thing they teach you in journalism school is don't be the story.
They called Brinks, Julie Brinks, and requested a comment. No answer. She released a statement on Friday. Wood TV is committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and to covering and reporting the news of the day in an expansive, inclusive fashion consistent with these values. Get the fuck out.
That's all I heard. Yeah,
right.
They just do that corporate speech, but they don't mean anything.
Written by ChatGPT.
Of course, they just took it off.
She said the station's owner Nexstar will take appropriate action as necessary to address the situation. And we apologize for offending members of the LGBTQ community and Wood TV viewers.
The people that did it don't.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can claim to be for diversity, equity, and inclusion, but it's in how you act. It's in how
it's not
what you do.
Yeah, what you say.
And I wouldn't feel safe if I was an employee there if y'all had some shit like that went up the chain and got out to all of us. I'm like, So the people in charge think like this?
Right.
When they see me and my same-sex partner, or they see me and what, you know, the way I identify, my gender or something, they're thinking, well, it's just as important that we have another side to this.
Right. So when you have women issues, you go, let's see what the men think. The fuck is this?
Dozens of pride flags vandalized at Stonewall Monument in NYC. Third time this month. Dozens of pride flags were vandalized. Oh wait, can I play this?
As we draw closer to this weekend's Pride March, police are investigating more acts of vandalism directed at the community. Police say yesterday someone damaged 33 flags flying outside Stonewall National Monument in the Greenwich Village area. This is the third time flags have been vandalized at the landmark site in little more than a week. No arrests have been made in any of the incidents. The NYPD's Hate Crimes Task Force is investigating.
Yeah, they purposefully doing that. Probably doing that shit at night too.
Yeah, they got pictures of the supposed culprits, you know, the
okay, so they do
accused.
got video. Oh yeah, trust somebody gonna recognize them.
Yeah, that's them right there. They people of interest.
I mean,
guess.
it's New York City. They're probably 3 blocks away.
Three white dudes, it appears to be. This one dude has his shirt.
Right. I was like,
the top 12 buttons are unbuttoned.
I was like, are you part of the community? I don't understand.
What is happening?
Right?
What is happening? Sir, let me look in the mirror. Fans have dubbed McDonald's mascot Grimace an LGBTQ icon after making a return in a new ad campaign. Yeah. So
I didn't see the campaign.
Last week, McDonald's celebrated the Fuzzball's birthday with a purple Grimace shake, matching his popular tone. You know, Grimace is purple.
Mm-hmm. It's about a whole generation that goes, who the fuck is Grimace? Like, we didn't see no commercials in forever.
Yeah, you know, Grimace is supposed to be just a giant taste bud, according to McDonald's.
I did not know that. I thought it was like a gun drop or something.
Over the past few days, I thought it was just what you look like if you eat McDonald's every day. Over the past few days, the iconic mascot took over the company's Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages as part of its new campaign. On Instagram, the Purple Fuzzball shared a post with fans. Want to come to my party? Finally got my own Grimace meal and purple shake. In another post, he said, unrelated, but do I look like a purple bloater? Please be honest. So this is him taking over the account. Like he took a very weird selfie.
Yeah, some men do that. A lot of men on their selfies, they like to shoot up the nose. You like
the serial killer selfie?
Yeah, you be like, dog, like you if you want a straight woman to like you, the nose pick is not it.
Oh, they did a crossover with The Last of Us. That's interesting.
Oh.
But yeah, it was his birthday. They had like his birthday party as one of the posts. You know?
Yeah, I've been to several of those when I was a kid. That's how
Grimace's
I had that
birthday?
cake. No. McDonald's birthday party. That's how I had a McDonald's cake.
Cheap cake.
When I was a kid.
But yeah, I guess people think I'm not sure what makes this gay. You know, want to come to my party? Fine, got my own Grimace meal and purple shake, and I guess it's him with these shades and this purple car. I'm not sure what would make it gay or whatnot, but maybe it's some code to speak within the community and folks know, you know, they just know you like, you know.
If you know, you know.
It's like the way I look at Babe Ruth, I'm like, that's a nigga. Like maybe they like, that's a gay person. He's blinging on the gaydar.
Come on.
But fans have been speculating that the celebration for Grimace has something to do with June also being Pride Month. Hey Grimace, happy birthday and happy Pride, one user tweeted. So I don't know. Maybe Grimace is gay. I like to think they're all gay, if I'm being honest. Everybody McDonald's mascot. I think they're all getting it in. Okay.
With somebody.
They're all somewhere. Okay.
That and the whole crew of Cobra.
This is a huge news, and I haven't really heard much about boycotting, threats, shooting up. I ain't seen no videos or nothing. But the homophobic people lost a major. Pray for them, guys. They lost a major. Well, I guess what they assumed to be just a battle. They lost a major battle in the homophobia movement.
What happened?
Okay, Republicans are making everybody pick sides, and apparently, Cracker Barrel has picked the gay side.
Oh, Cracker Barrel came out like, hey, got this.
Cracker Barrel Old Country Stores, the meatloaf and fried steak purveyor founded in Middle Tennessee, has been criticized for a diversity, equity, and inclusion campaign. We take no pleasure in reporting that the Cracker Barrel has fallen. Tweeted the Texas Family Project.
Confederate flags at half mast. They said
we gotta fly old glory upside down today.
Right, they is
the country is in distress.
They is up there kicking over big ass rocking chairs for no reason.
As evidence, the Texas Family Project also sounds like one of them hate groups, but as evidence, the Texas group cited a 2-page flyer from the restaurant chain celebrating Pride Month. Its participation in which appeared to be a few rainbow-colored sponsored rocking chairs. Yeah, like it's not even like Cracker Barrel got to do that much because Cracker Barrel not supposed to do anything.
Right.
Like I don't even know if Cracker Barrel picked a side after George Floyd. Maybe they did. I just don't remember it.
I don't remember either.
Feel like it would have been major news though.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel was like, we just Cracker Barrel.
Yeah. So yeah, they are upset with the barrel. Discrimination, overt or through unconscious bias, has no place at Cracker Barrel Old Country Store. The company, which over the years has been criticized for its conduct, says on its diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging page. In 1992, it asked and was granted a so-called no action letter from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to exclude shareholder proposals dealing with its employment policies, and in particular, its policies stated in a press release that it would not hire gay or lesbian employees. That was in 1992. After public and shareholder pressure, Cracker Barrel reversed the policy, and in 1998, the SEC withdrew the no action letter. During the George W. Bush administration, Cracker Barrel settled a lawsuit with the Justice Department that alleged a pattern of discrimination against African American customers based on the conduct in 50 restaurants in 7 states. So that doesn't just come from nowhere, everybody. When y'all hear us making jokes about black people thinking Cracker Barrel's racist,
right?
It's a reason. Denny's.
Yep, they on that list too.
Y'all know.
I haven't ate Denny's in years for that reason.
Yeah, and the food's not good. Culture wars have engulfed a number of companies, in particular Anheuser-Busch, which ran a social media campaign with Dylan Mulvaney, featuring her holding a personalized Bud Light can with. Well, we kind of talked about this her story before. But yeah, the Cracker Barrel people got mad. You know, they got mad about the woke mob. You know, coming to Cracker Barrel. People did leave some funny tweets.
Okay, this is gonna be good.
Hank Green says, I gotta stop participating in the ridiculousness of modern discourse. Me 2 hours later. Do you think they let me get a Cracker Barrel has fallen tattoo between chemo treatment? Wishing you a speedy recovery, Hank. Picture. Andy says, picture me and my family. Oh wait, I can show y'all these, right?
Yes, I think you can.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know why I thought we were already looking at the page together. This person pictured a bunch of people leaving Vietnam. I mean, leaving probably South or leaving North Korea or whatever, or South Korea during some American conflict. Looks like people getting helicopter off an embassy or something. And it says, picture me and my family leaving Cracker Barrel before the woke mob can gay our biscuits. Gay our biscuits.
Gay our biscuits. You mean with the white gravy? I don't get it.
Beverly Tweetmaker says, dearest Martha, it has been 7 days since the fall of Cracker Barrel, and I must reluctantly report that morale has never been lower. The men know not where they can get fried chicken while retreating back to Charleston without deviating more than a mile off the interstate.
Right? Chicken fried chicken and chicken fried steak.
Like you have to go back to hardtack.
I see somebody in there upset. All they wanted was they chicken fried steak, and now they got the word about the glitter falling in it. Woe is them.
Yeah, man. That I'm sure that hurt. Cause I know. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I thought Cracker Barrel was a child too.
Me too.
I'm just as shocked.
It's funny to me too.
I said, oh damn, Cracker Barrel. Like I didn't know they was, I didn't know they was on the market for being on the right side of history. I thought they was just like, we over here. Y'all know what we on.
I mean, it's in the name, Cracker.
Right. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get into some other news. All right. Have you heard about the missing sub?
No, submarine or
Submarine.
Okay.
So apparently there was some rich people. They hopped in the sub. The sub got a like a it looks like
got GPS on it.
No, hold on. It looks like when you get one of those when you go to GameStop and you need another controller, but you don't get the controller that come with it. So you get like the knockoff controller.
Oh no.
That's what they use to navigate the sub, is that
off
kind
brand
of video game controller.
Oh
yeah.
no. It's supposed to be square, but it's circles. The button's off a little bit.
Right. It got a turbo button.
Right. You got the fuck is a turbo
that
button?
Don't work. That you never figure out how to make work.
Nope.
So yeah, I'll show you a picture of this of the video game controller. But apparently there's like you can see it there. It looked like a GameCube knockoff or something.
Like a Nintendo 64.
Yeah, but like
Nintendo,
a knockoff.
Yeah, Nintendo GameCube.
Yeah.
So of a brand you ain't never heard before, and you push the buttons 3 times, and then all of a sudden it gets stuck.
So yeah, this is the controller you don't want when you go to your cousin's house.
Yeah, like somebody said at Mad Cats.
Yes, Mad Cats. That's what I was thinking of. So 5 people are missing from this sub. That it's called the Titan. And what it does is it searches for the remains of the Titanic, and it's supposed to like take you down to that depth, and you can like look at the Titanic and get like better whatever for it.
Okay.
The cost of the trip is how much?
$10,000.
$10,000. Okay. 4 people can go at a time, I guess, and then the driver, right? It has 96-hour oxygen supply, and it is $250,000 a person.
Goddamn!
Mm-hmm. Just a whole $1 million at the bottom of the sea, possibly. It can only be open from the outside, even if it makes it back up to the surface by itself.
Bitch, what?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody got to be waiting on you.
Yeah. Rescue crews are now racing to get another submersible craft prepared to try and reach the same depth as the Titan. When
Bitch, you better not lose me. We paid $250,000 a GPS, or something better be pinging on this motherfucker. The fuck is this? That's too much money. We paid all this money and can't nobody find us. Shit, they know we going to the Titanic. I don't understand. How we get lost? Did a whale eat us? The fuck is this?
Yeah, it's gotta have like some sirens on it or something.
Right.
So
now Aquaman shit. Somebody better find us in the motherfucker for $250,000.
Mm-hmm. So they don't know if they were using the Logitech F710 as on the latest expedition. That's not a joke. That's what that controller is.
Oh no!
They don't know if they were using that. because they had that picture from like a year ago. So maybe they upgraded to a wireless Xbox control. I don't know.
I mean, bitch. I mean, this bitch ain't got Apple CarPlay on it. Shit, we know what that ship ain't going nowhere. Y'all can't GPS through the ocean how to get to there.
It's also wireless. And you know, I'm not shitting on Logitech or whatever, but you know, come on, guys, it's not a PlayStation. But it looks like a wireless controller.
That's how you.
What if they just lost the controller? What if that's how they stuck it?
The battery ran dead. It was like, oh,
yeah.
Fuck, nobody got it.
Anybody else got some AAA
batteries? You were supposed to buy some, folks.
Right.
I told you to go to the store.
You know the off-road controller don't never use the same thing. It's like, who got a 9-volt?
Yes.
I know
who got the flat round ones.
Right. I need
what is it? C25? The fuck if I know.
I need the kind that go in your car alarm system.
I cannot believe they is doing this with a video game controller.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't trust small submarines. I don't trust it. I don't trust the men who operate them. I don't trust their dependability. I only trust the big, like red, like the big, like October Red. What was the name of that movie? Red October. I only trust the big Red October ass ones. I trust. I need the motherfucking like nuclear sub before I fuck with anything. And also, like, is it really worth it to see the Titanic? $250,000.
I mean, bitch, I saw the movie.
It's not like you can get out. You know what I'm saying?
And look at it or touch it or something like that.
You're just gonna be down there in the dark, like, yeah, I think it's over there somewhere. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, guys, because you know it's not like we got light down here, or else we would have found these motherfuckers by now.
Right. Somebody said it was the hunt for Red October.
Yeah, I said Red October. I got it at the end, guys. Thank you for trying to help. But yeah, man, it's they also, this is the part that's wild. The tourist submersible that went missing while exploring the Titanic wreck was previously the target of safety complaints from an employee of OceanGate, the parent company that owns the sub and runs tourist expeditions of the wreck.
Bitch, I'm suing the hell out of y'all.
You're dead, Karen. Your family got to sue.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm gonna be the family member that's gonna sue. I'm not gonna be in the ship. I'm gonna be the one that's like, we're suing you. You knew you had no business taking my family member down there. I'm mad they spent that money anyway. They could have bought a house or at least a decent car, and now you done took them down and they dead at the bottom of the ocean.
That employee complained specifically that the sub was not capable of descending to such extreme depths before he was fired. That's according to legal documents obtained by the New Republic. According to the court documents in the 2018 case, OceanGate employee David Lockridge, a submersible pilot, voiced concerns about the safety of the sub. According to the press release, Lockridge was director of marine operations at the time and responsible for the safety of all crew and clients. The concerns he voiced came to light as part of a breach of contract case related to Lockridge refusing to greenlight manned tests of the early models of the submersible over safety concerns.
She's like, nigga, this is my whole job. My whole job is to be sure y'all don't die.
So, did they listen to his concerns? No. They fired him. And then OceanGate sued him for disclosing confidential information about the Titan submersible. In response, he filed a compulsory counterclaim where he alleged wrongful termination over being a whistleblower about the quality and safety of the submersible. In his counterclaim, he alleged that rather than addressing his concerns, OceanGate instead summarily terminated his employment in efforts to silence him and to avoid addressing the safety and quality control issues.
Mm-hmm. And they did. And now people are missing. So that, you know what? He was right.
Yep.
He was right.
Yep.
He was like, this is not designed for that. My whole job probably got a fucking PhD with a bunch of letters behind it. And y'all gonna tell that man that we can do this. And he's like, no, you can't.
This sounds like a terrible way to die too.
Right. And what, only 96 hours?
Right. Like of air. But
right.
That's assuming that they're just down there stuck and not that
water's like, coming in.
But well, that's the thing. When you down that low, it's like you basically just your whole shit just crunch up.
Oh.
Yeah. And like your blood basically just starts boiling. It's just it's a
Nigga.
horrible way to die.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, like you just hate to be down that far, and then you get like too dark deep, and then the pilot's like, "Uh-oh,
Bitch, uh-oh. What we
Yeah.
uh-ohing about? We can't back this bitch up. What is this?
you just hear a rivet pop or something." Bing! Like, "Uh-oh, oh shit."
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Well, guys, the good news will be dead in 10 seconds.
Turn on your GPSs that we implanted in you. What? Turn them on. Turn them on.
Right.
You're gonna need them so they can find the bodies.
They're trying. The Coast Guard said they're gonna try to get something together and find them, but it's not looking
They
good.
don't. Nobody knows what the fuck it is.
Also, if these motherfuckers had a sub that was supposed to be able to do this and they shit failed, I doubt that the people that don't got a sub are gonna find a way to rescue them. And then, like, how do you can't get out of whatever you're in to save them because there's nothing that can protect the human body at that depth, unless you got like the fucking claw machine from Toy Story where it just reach down into the sea and pick them up. I think it's over.
Yeah, unless we Paw Patrol, I do not understand. How we gonna get around the physics of this, and Dora the Explorer does a better job.
Coast Guard
X marks the spot.
Coast Guard says it can't guarantee rescue of missing Titanic submersible even if they find it, as oxygen supply dwindles to just 40 hours. I don't know. It seemed like y'all would have some type of something for it.
Something to be able to find that bitch. Hey, don't this shit cost too much for you to be like, well, it's lost at sea.
Yeah. It seemed like y'all or something. I don't know.
I mean, is this common to just lose shit at sea?
Right. Wow. So yeah, man. Good luck to those people. And good luck to the people trying to find them.
All right.
Sounds like that.
And somebody in there was like, y'all talk me into this bullshit. I told y'all I didn't want to go. You said it'd be a chance of a lifetime, and now we did.
One of the people was a Titanic researcher who specialized in it. So what an ironic way to die.
Right beside it.
Guess it was suboptimal. Sounds like they were out of their depth. All right. Spotify executive Bill Simmons calls Harry and Meghan grifters after the podcast deal they had with Spotify ends. They got 20 M's. And apparently they were, they were grifting on them. They only made 12 episodes. It was a $20 million multi-year deal. The Ringer Podcast Network founder Bill Simmons, who sold his company to Spotify for $196 million in 2020 and gained a leadership role at the company in the deal, criticized Harry and Meghan on his own podcast following the announcement from the Sussex's audio production company Archwell that they had severed ties with Spotify. The couple signed a $20 million deal in 2020. Man, it does feel weird that Bill Simmons is able to go on his podcast and shit on them. I'm not saying it just feels weird because when I think of like someone holding a position at a company, you don't think of the company coming out and getting the shit on the person. It's kind of like normally they remain somewhat neutral.
Right. It is unprofessional. And you make Spotify look bad because bitch, you on the board now. You on the board, which means you know shit that the average person does not know.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, is this a deterrent to other podcasters or something? Like if Jamel Hill leaves Spotify, would Bill Simmons then come out and be like, yeah, let me tell you what I don't like about her.
Right. And it doesn't make you look good. And it makes people go, well, you racist. Like, even if you're not, that's how it makes people look.
The Archetypes podcast, which was hosted by Meghan, featured conversations with friends and celebrities, including Serena Williams, Mariah Carey, and Trevor Noah. It topped the podcast charts for Spotify in a number of markets, but only 12 episodes were made. I mean, 12 episodes in 3 years is low as fuck, especially for that amount of money. Last week, but that's the other thing. This is one of my fucking issues with all this shit, including Spotify. They go out and throw buckets of money at celebrities who are not podcasters. And they're just hiring them for the splash of the name of look who we
The
got.
shit is work.
And so when those people do not want to do the work of podcasting, when they're not going to turn out 52 episodes a year, whatever the fuck you think they should be doing, it's not really a surprise to me because they weren't podcasting in the beginning. It's not like it's not like they had a podcast and then you said, let us pay for you to host your podcast exclusively to us. That's not what happened.
Right.
Last week, Spotify and Archwell Audio released a joint statement saying they mutually agreed to part ways and they're proud of the series we made together. However, sources close to Spotify have said the royal couple did not meet the productivity benchmark required to receive the full headline payout from the deal, having only produced one 12 episode series. So they probably won't even make the whole 20 million, which makes sense because why would you give somebody 20 million for 12 episodes over 3 years? That would be the kind of contract that would require from a company would be one of the most wasteful uses.
Oh, somebody would lose their job.
Yeah. I don't know who was that famous that you would give them $20 million for 12 episodes over 3 years. That's what is that even? Like 3 episodes a year or some shit, or 4 episodes a year? That's nothing.
Oh yeah, they didn't make that many episodes.
Yeah. So then I guess this is what he said, Bill Simmons. I wish I had been involved in the Harry, Meghan, Lee, Spotify negotiation. The fucking grifters. That's the podcast we should have launched with them. Simmons said on his podcast, the Bill Simmons podcast, I've got to get drunk one night and tell the story of the Zoom I had with Harry to try and help him with the podcast I did. It's one of my best stories. Fuck them, the grifters. Simmons had previously said he was annoyed he had to share Spotify with Prince Harry. And
yeah, it's not like he don't like them for whatever reason.
I think a lot of white people don't like them.
Right.
Just in general. I'm not even calling them racist and shit. I get it. I mean, half the reason black people like them is just because Meghan is biracial and we want to claim that. Like, it's not like it's ever been that deep abiding love. I've always felt like we don't know them.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think people like what they represent, but what do they represent? You know, I wasn't shitting on people that were getting off on it. I wasn't denigrating the people that weren't getting off of it. I thought it was weird how much people were fighting about it because it just didn't seem to be so important to me. But yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, like I said before, it's one of those things where I hope somebody got a hold of him because it's like, nigga, you represent the company. Like, you can't be on your own podcast talking, because if we're in negotiation trying to do something else, people are going to think really hard about coming here going, hey, if anything goes wrong or something like that, I got to deal with you fucking talking about me on your podcast.
That is the part that I find interesting. I'm assuming other people wouldn't necessarily. I think if you hire a podcaster, I wouldn't worry about it. If you hire a celebrity, then yeah, a celebrity might not do the job the way you think they should do it. And Simmons is a podcaster at this point.
Right.
Like, he has a company, he consistently puts out material, you know, he has a work ethic. So of course he's gonna look at a person like this and be like, you didn't even take this seriously. Fuck you. That being said, there's an accusation that they think Meghan Markle was faking her interviews. Like having an assistant or somebody ask people questions and then dubbing her own voice in later as if she asked the question.
Okay.
So, like, you know, I'm not really talking to Serena Williams, my assistant, or somebody's getting the audio, and then later I'm not even there. Later they go in and put it in. I actually think that is kind of weird and unethical.
Yeah, because they're paying you to do the interview, so they expect you to be there.
Yeah, like it's not illegal or nothing, but I think it's weird and unethical. It feels like that you should be able to do that. You've only done 12 shows. You didn't have the time to even do that, you know, and
especially now with Skype and all that stuff,
like,
there's ways around that.
Now look, maybe it's not true. Maybe they're just trying to the shit on her or whatever.
Right.
But if it is true, that is pretty bad. And the reason I go by, I'll go by myself. I would never do that shit. And I would feel like I cheated the audience if I did that shit. Like if I was like, I interviewed so-and-so, guys, it's going to be great. And then I edited a bunch of shit and dubbed my voiceover and made it seem like it, and then send it to y'all under the pretense that I had an actual in person, some type of interaction with this person. Yeah, I would feel like I lied to my audience. Now she doesn't have to feel this, but this is how I feel. I would feel like I lied to my audience, like I was tricking people, like I wasn't putting in the work or delivering what I promised people. I've never done an interview like that and had to dub in some shit. So that does feel weird if that's true.
Right, that's if that's true, because right now it's a sling fest. So, everybody just coming out and saying anything.
It's also the kind of thing you can't really cover up because too many people be involved with that shit. It's not just your
Right.
assistant. People at Spotify, the person you interviewed knows it wasn't you.
Right.
Like it's gonna get back to people that you didn't do that shit. So if that is true, that does feel that I see why somebody would say you grifted them, because it's like, that's not what you were promised us. And when we sat down and did the what is your podcast gonna be, you didn't say I'm gonna pretend to interview people. You didn't say that.
Right.
Like, let's just keep it
and
real.
It was probably like, we need so many episodes a year, so many per week, blah, 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 blah. And they was like, you didn't even hit the benchmarks.
Yeah. So anyway, seems wild. That might should have been in white people news. Do you know who Sukihana is? So she is a rapper. And I don't know why people separate her rap from other rap women that rap about sex and stuff all the time, but she's a very sexual rapper.
Okay.
And so she kind of was in the headlines over the weekend because she was doing interviews and public appearances, and dudes were being super creepy towards her. Here's her on Candy's podcast. Candy from the Real Housewives has a podcast, I guess. And Candy had a dude on there.
Is she in the green dress?
Yes.
Okay.
Candy had a dude on there talking to her, and this is what went
I
down.
make that pussy spit, and I know it do. I watched you walk in this motherfucker. I make that pussy spit, and I know it do. I watched you walk in this motherfucker.
So you can tell by my walk?
I can tell by your walk that pussy spit.
Hey, you a country nigga? Where you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Campbellton Road to be exact. What's happening with it? Oh yeah, I want to smell your pussy. I want to put my face in your pussy. You say Suki with the good cookie. You know what I'm saying? You talking about her good? That
yeah. And Candy's laughing at it.
Motherfucker smell and all that. We can go to the back and I can come back and
you
give
want to smell my ass?
I might put my tongue down that motherfucker.
Oh my gosh, A1.
But we're gonna start with the sniffing though.
You are aggressive.
She love that shit, man. Look at her. She like that old shit.
No, I don't.
You love that shit.
No, I mean after like during sex maybe, but that not right now.
Right, because you're having a fucking interview. Be professional.
Fuck that. You done met your match. I'm here. What's up?
So listen, hold on.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like they do porn stars. Just because I rap about fucking and all that shit, it don't mean I want to fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, apparently he showed his dick pic to her during the middle of the interview.
5 inches is a huge dick to me.
5 inches?
Yeah, that's big to me.
No, okay.
That's super big. I love that size.
I know my mom used to say she'd rather be tickled than be stabbed.
That's a good one. I'm sorry.
Because some people got all their dick and they just be damn stabbing it.
What?
So he showed her a picture of his dick during the interview.
He think that's okay?
Yep.
Niggas.
And what I think is interesting about this on the first hand is like, because people are like, well, look what she rap about. First of all them women rap about that.
Right.
Like Megan made wet ass pussy. People wasn't doing this to her. So I think that's already kind of a weird framing of it to be like. Secondly, niggas rap about a bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not okay to like shoot a nigga because like if you see Pusha T at an event, it's not okay to like try to sell him cocaine.
Right.
Because he rap about it all the time. Like we know like there's a certain level of like embellishment, make believe, and like doing pussy rap is, that's what people call it. That's not necessarily like a open invitation to when you see me start talking about how you gonna put your tongue in my ass and shit.
Right.
So I don't know. I think that is it is creepy and it's weird that people act like he couldn't
control himself.
Yeah.
He's been around women before and it's fucking disrespectful. And what's so fucked up about it, I bet you, I don't know if she has a man or not, but I bet you if she was quote unquote associated and tied to a man, he wouldn't do that bullshit.
That's true.
He don't feel like she's quote unquote covered, or there's nobody that's going to defend her, or he don't have to deal with no man beating his ass. So he feel like he could talk to her any old fucking kind of way. And if she would have went off, if she would have got nasty, if she would have walked out of the interview, she'd have been the goddamn bitch. No, nigga, fuck you.
Yep. So that, that was the first thing I saw about it. And it was obviously like what the fuck was that about?
Right,
and
it's weird.
People are mad at Candy too because he's the co-host of her show, and she just laughed through it and never rings him in or whatever. Now I don't know enough about her podcast to know if that's like that's his role or that's something that you do all the time.
And it's creepy, and I don't know if it's a business at LLC or something like that. But if she was not supposed to feel comfortable and come back and sue y'all, it would be a goddamn problem because he literally sexually harassed. Give me motherfucking dick pics while we're video recording, and you think it's all good? No, it's not.
I do think it's weird that Candy's getting more heat for it than even he did. If you look at most of the tweets in this article, they're about Candy. They're not about him at all.
Yeah, because they don't.
I don't even know if they mention him like in that way. Like they at Candy, but not him. Like for example, at Candy, your co-host is a misogynistic, ignorant clown who's making you look incapable of determining what sexual harassment is or how to separate your guest's professional persona from their personal space and boundaries. Get someone better at Candy. He is a negative impact, sis. Sukihana, the goat, that's her Twitter, is a sexually open entertainer. Is her right anytime in any situation express if, when, how anyone makes her feel uncomfortable, say no and have her wishes respected here. At Candy and her laughing is disappointing. Dude is trash. #Sukihana. And then black women deserve better. Like, like I said, it feels like Candy's catching the heat more than the dude even.
Is it her show? But
I think it's her podcast. So I don't know.
Oh, but even with that, there needs to be some accountability for his actions.
Yeah.
She didn't make him do that. Nor did she tell him to do that. He did
I also
think
just because motherfuckers can get on a podcast mic and they're a celebrity, like Candy's thing is like, I'm very sex positive. I'm very open about sex and sexuality. But that doesn't mean you're really ready to helm these conversations, because in that moment, you would think a person that truly is practicing what they preach, truly talking and reading and understanding stuff on a deeper level than just like, the flash in the pan shit, would have been like, hey,
you would have
said she uncomfortable, that's enough.
She would have reined that in. We need to talk about something else. Change the subject, sir.
Yeah.
Or else you need to leave. If you cannot control yourself and your dick, get off the podcast.
Yeah. So almost all these tweets are about Candy though. So I don't even know what you do. And apparently this interview was from like 3 months ago. So, but then after that popped up from 3 months ago, there was a different issue where this dude YK Osiris, who's a rapper, he was at an event where Sukihana was on like on a panel or something. And she's like talking on the stage with like a Lil Duval, and YK Osiris comes over to her while she's talking and tries to kiss her in the middle of her talking.
So they just blatantly just disrespecting her. Like we actually really don't give a fuck about you. Mm-hmm. That's basically what you're saying. Us as men don't give a fuck about you. You talk about your pussy, and because you talk about your pussy, it gives us the right to treat you any old goddamn kind of way. And so if, like I said, if she does any form of retaliation, she's to ask, no nigga, don't fucking touch me.
Which is wild. Which is wild because like I can't get over the fact they act like she the first woman to rap about sex.
Right.
Like people weren't doing this to Lil' Kim and stuff, but maybe like you said, they were male affiliated in a way.
Yes.
Even Nicki had Lil Wayne in them. Mm-hmm. Like most of the women that rap about sex and stuff like that typically have, some level of male protection or affiliation.
Yes.
So this is her at this event talking, And then this is why K. Osiris coming up behind her, putting his hands on her shoulders.
What if she'd have fucking popped him or slapped him or punched him or they'd have been brawling, it'd have been a goddamn problem. Don't touch me.
He's touching her shoulders, and you can already see her face looking like, why is this dude touching me?
Right. Nobody else is touching me. Why is he getting that close to her? Oh my. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, they gotta pop you in the face with that goddamn mic. Get your hands off me, bitch.
And Lil Duval just tried to act like he didn't see what he looked, and then act like he didn't see what's happening, because he already know that's a bad look.
Right.
And then YK Osiris tried to walk up to some. There's only dudes on the stage and her, but he tried to walk up to another dude and like dap him up to be like, "Ha ha, ain't that crazy?" And dude also keeping beat the shit out of him.
That's not funny. So if I sue you, it was like I was on the stage at an event, sue the people. I was on the stage at an event. I felt uncomfortable. You allowed this dude to touch me. You allowed him to goddamn kiss me. There was no security. Nobody came and did a motherfucking thing.
And keep in mind, Meek Mill went on Twitter almost immediately after seeing that video, and at first said he tweeted to her, he said this, don't do this to him, please. Because someone had there's a screenshot of an article from Say Cheese or whatever, whoever that is, and it's Sukihana. It's a picture of like YK Osiris and Sukihana, and it's a picture of a screen cap of her tweet that says, "I am hurt and I am scared to stand up for myself."
Valid.
And Meek Mill, quote tweeted this and said, "Don't do this to him, please. He's a good kid.
I don't give a fuck about that.
Just slap him and he got to let you something. We don't need our young boys torn down for mistakes in this hypersexual era. I support Suki. Hold that shit down on some street shit."
No, you don't support me, because if you support me, why are you talking to me? I am the victim of this. The fuck is this? Get out my goddamn face.
Then he said, "Y'all drawing a big line between men and women nowadays on social, and it's getting bad in the black community. All this internet superficial shaming, judging, gaslighting only hurt us people. And it's a lot of people who need strength, especially young black men."
Okay, so fuck the women.
He might gotta rumble Suki brother anything but this same internet tear each other down stuff. Suki can do what she wants. She feels violated, but let me mind my business.
Yeah, that's what you need to do, baby. That's what you need to do. Mind your business.
Also, the way it's about a black woman saying, "Hey, this bothered me, and I'm scared to stand up for myself." And Meek Mill and dudes on that stage, and Candy Birds, they're the reason people scared to stand up for themselves in this situation, because you don't have her back. And especially for me to make it immediately like, if she stands up for herself, you're picking on a black man, because all the men are black, all the women are white. Like, black women don't have any fucking say.
Right.
Or all the blacks are men, all the women are white.
And it becomes, just talk from a cis het place. It becomes very, very frustrating. Because why do I need the quote unquote protection? Why do I need to be attached to a penis in order for you to respect me and my autonomy?
Right.
Why can't I just exist just to exist?
Also, how is it not just as bad or weird for like him to be physically assaulted by her brother or something like that? Like, what he's suggesting, like hold it down on some street shit, is essentially he violated you in public, but don't say nothing in public. Quiet, like he values he's more worried about how it looks on Twitter and how it looks on social media than how it looked on that stage.
Yes, it looked horrible, it looked terrible, and it's also one of the things And I know that people get sensitive when you talk about this, but this is the one reason why you have women for valid reasons to be like, niggas ain't shit.
Right.
Because y'all looked at him do me like that. And not one of y'all say, dude, stop. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you over here? You're not a part of this. Nobody said anything. You know, and that's the part that's frustrating for women. I'm just speaking from my perspective. That's the part that's very frustrating to me. It's like, well, people go, well, not me and not mine. Okay, not you and yours, but what about them other niggas?
Well, not just that, but this is what dudes say all the time when they say stuff like, well, you know, I don't know no men like that. And if it happened, don't say all men, don't say black men, don't say this because I would have did this. All them dudes on the stage, nobody did anything. Nobody said shit. Nobody even spoke up. Like nobody even spoke up to be like, calm down or, hey man, what you doing? You're actually, and you all have mics in your face.
Right.
You didn't even make like a comment on it on the stage. I'm not even saying you had to be like, now brothers, why do we do our women? Like you could have just been like, hey man, calm down. What you doing?
Right. Are you part of the interview? Why are you over here?
Yeah. Hey man, you OD right now. Like no one said anything because this is the thing that I keep saying about what people don't understand about when people talk about toxic masculinity. People think of it as either this one-off thing that a man does, and then you know the other men are like, I would never, I'm different than that. Let's not blame us all for that man's behavior. Or they go, all men do this. All men go around and they're just harassing and kissing women and violating their boundaries. And to me, neither one of those are really what happens. I think what we just watched is what really happens.
Yes.
Is that one dude does that, and then the rest of motherfuckers that always talk about being a man and how they wouldn't let nobody do. I got sisters. I got a wife. I got a daughter. They didn't do shit. They said all the girl dads with Kobe in the bio didn't do shit. They sat right up in there, watched it happen in their face. Candy Burrs, who I'm sure is to some extent has espoused certain feminist beliefs throughout her sexual positive career. She didn't say shit. She didn't do nothing. And to a certain extent, I understand because I think that's more closer to the truth than this shit where people pretend to be like,
because people actually don't want to get involved, the truth be told.
Most people are like, it's not happening to me.
Right.
I just don't want no problems. I'ma just pretend it's not happening. But Meek went on to say, and protect Suki. Osiris, you a DH. I don't know what DH means. Go back to church. Stop following the heathens. So then YK Osiris did end up apologizing. He apologized and Suki accepted. So let's see, he apologized for the whole thing, and Suki has chosen to accept it. So she said, I want to say first, thank you to everyone who has reached out. Your thoughtfulness is not gone unnoticed. I would like to address the event that took place on Saturday as well as the aftermath surrounding and such. First, I want to acknowledge that YK Osiris has apologized to me both privately and publicly. I've chosen to accept his apology. God always forgives me and I can always forgive others. My accepting his apology is not excusing or lessening the severity of his actions. This is destiny choosing to give grace to Osiris. He is young. It is my prayer that this experience will cause him and others to be more mindful and respect the personal boundaries of others. I'm human. I'm a woman. I'm a mother and a daughter before I am an entertainer. No matter what my lyrics express, I still have boundaries and a right to have them. Again, I've accepted his apology. I'm working towards getting back to my life. I'm giving YK the grace and forgiveness that I wanted to be given to me as I was discovering and defining myself on this very public and sometimes unforgiving entertainment platform. Thanks again. I deeply appreciate your support. So yeah, and his apology, I have pictures of it. I gotta blow it up because it's on this weird website. I apologize to my family and my supporters. I keep letting y'all down. I just want to be a better person and focus on my purpose, and that's music. Love y'all so much for real. Don't worry, I got a gift for y'all since I've been bullshitting these past years. I lost everything, my mind, my family, my love for music. I just need help for real. Prayer emoji, which to me is not really an apology.
I'm about to say
she did say he reached out privately, so maybe that was a apology.
Okay,
But that's an apology to your fans and friends.
Right. He did not apologize to you or his actions. He did
Yeah.
not call you out by name. You know, that, and it's one of those things where it was like, it's very, very frustrating because that's when apologies, non-apology, if I offended you type of things. He didn't say that, but that's how I felt. Because like you did not acknowledge your actions, you did not say how you were going to improve, you did not say it was going to be a real change, you know. So, and also it's one of those things where if I was a woman rapper and I was seeing this, I was like, I don't want to be alone with that nigga.
Yeah,
that's fucking frightening.
Yeah. Yeah, that's terrible. I don't even know what else to say other than that's terrible. I think it was interesting looking on social media to see the people that were stretching to find a way that it was her fault. You know,
Yeah,
like why she rap like that? She shouldn't be making songs like that. Then it's like, God damn, y'all sound fucking stupid.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where just because a woman raps, like I said, raps about her pussy, raps about sex, raps about fucking, some dudes feel like it just gives us the right to just treat you any old kind of way and just say any old kind of quote unquote thing to you.
Right.
Like I said, when I feel like you're not protected, but I don't feel like it's not a consequences, no any consequences from a man.
And it's clearly an onstage persona. We know this because every other fucking rapper we treat like that. And the ones who aren't, we go, well, that's their, I can't believe that it wasn't just an onstage persona. Like we accept this as part of the thing. Like we know Drake ain't never shot nobody. Like we know that. Like it's it's insane to me that people think that's even an excuse or like, well, she be rapping about that, you know? And I guarantee, well, even if she raps about stuff sexual, she's not rapping about come over to me and just fucking assault me. You know what I mean? That's not part of the raps, you know? Like, anyway, it's just super wild.
Yeah, and it's very, very frustrating. And then, you know, when black women be like, I don't feel protected, this is part of the reason why they don't feel protected.
Right.
You know, and I know there's black men out there doing the good thing. Okay, yada, yada, yada. But what about that nigga? And it's a lot, It's a lot of that nigga out there.
Well, you know, it's worse. It's worse than it been a lot of them. It's worse because the lot out of the 9 black men on that stage, 1 did that and then 8 watched. It's worse because the people that people pretend to be is always the ones who would have said something, and they don't. And I'm a black dude. I'm cis het. I've been around life. I've been around other people. That's like one of the things about masculinity that's just hard for people to perceive because, you know, or not perceive. It's hard for people to express. It is so much about following. It is so much about rigid. That's why people always talk about alpha males and shit. It is so much about like just other people doing shit, and what's really happening is the little boy inside of you is scared.
Right.
You know, it's why some people gravitate to me. It's also why some people don't fuck with me.
Correct.
It's because, and I know it's a rare thing. I'm not saying it like I'm a hero. I feel like an outcast. I feel like a lot of times the loser, the one that doesn't do the party right. The one that doesn't know how to, I don't know how to do being a man the right way because there's shit that's come along in my life where I've been the one to be like, I don't think this is right. And sometimes you'll have another man or two that goes, you know what? I was thinking and I just didn't want to say it.
Right.
I've had that happen before too. Like you be playing basketball, someone says a homophobic slur and you're like, hey man, why you got to say that? Like what the fuck they got to do with basketball? And you'll catch people a lot of times who were thinking what I was thinking, but because no one was going to say it, they weren't going to say shit. But the second I said it, they went, yeah, man, you don't got to say that, man. You know, my cousin gay or somebody in here could be gay. What's wrong with that? But it's funny because it's that one spark. If I wouldn't have been there, then it would have just been F word this. And not just, you know, other shit too. You know, it's other shit too. It's just not just that, but and like I said, I don't even feel like I'm, you know, the most performative woke nigga. Like I'm not even like that. I'm just a normal fucking human being who has a bit of empathy for other folks and just be like, I don't know, seem like you shouldn't say that about that. Like, you know, if your boy is cat. So I've been at a basketball court where a dude was catcalling a woman and he was a friend of mine. And I think he was a white dude, and it felt to me racial, like he was catcalling because he thought me as a black man would be impressed with, look at this white dude catcalling a woman on the track at the gym. And I was like, bro, that shit is whack, you know. And it wasn't like he went, well, thank you, man, I learned a lot today. It was like, oh man, come on, man, fuck that, man, it's just she fine. I'm like, bro, we all got eyes, man. She just here to work out. Calm the fuck down. Like, we just supposed to be playing basketball. It's not like you went up there and try to get a number. You're yelling from that. What the fuck do you expect to happen? You know me, I start roasting them. But it was like, so eventually everybody's like, yeah, that shit is kind of whack, dude. Like, we all see she fine. You know, if you wanted us to see that she was fine, you could have just leaned over to us like, yo, that girl on the track is bad. That you didn't have to, hey girl, like,
yeah, it don't have to be a
but
scene.
no one would have said shit if I didn't say shit, because most people are followers. And I'm not even I always say something ass nigga. I'm
Right.
A lot of times I'll be like, well, these niggas is ignorant. I guess I'll go do something else and not hang out with them. But the times I do say something or I have said something, you'll get that vibe of like other dudes being like, oh yeah, that is right. That is fucked up. And I guess we can say something about it.
Yeah. And like,
if one person on that stage would have been like, bro, get off of her,
it'd change the heat.
I guarantee you
left.
two or three other dudes would have been like, yeah, dude, what you doing?
Yes.
But men are such fucking cowards in that way, because our masculinity is about, a lot of it is encapsulated by cowardism. A lot of it is just like, I don't want to stick out.
Right.
I don't want to look like the one who's not cool, who's not down, the one who's fucking up the time. I don't want to be that guy. And at the same time, the bravado of it is all this, like, if you let men tell it, we're all just hyper masculine leaders, alpha males who stand up to each, and we know right from wrong. And I would never let nobody disrespect, like, not around me. It's a fucking lie. Anyway, and women know because they experience it. They see us. They see the dudes that sat there just as much as they saw that YK Osiris. They saw every dude that sat there and was like, I'm blind all of a sudden.
Right. And it's also, you know, one of those things where as women, just like Black people know white people better than themselves because it's life and death. And cis het relationships, women know men better than men because it's life and death for us. And men don't understand
and
that.
We'll spend time gaslighting women.
Right.
Women will be like, this has been my experience. I've been a woman around a bunch of men and someone violated me and nobody else said shit. Nobody did anything. Motherfuckers may even join in. And then you'll have some other dude that wasn't there talking about, well, that is just a man you hang out with. I mean, that wasn't a man, that was a boy. It's everything except, you know what, you right.
Yeah.
It's everything but that. The fact that Meek Mill's mind went immediately to protect this dude and went on Twitter to tell us, everyone else, we need to protect this Black man at all costs, because what we don't need is that is a very default mindset for a lot of men, especially in this case, especially Black men, because we'll hide behind the fact that, hey, racism is real.
It is.
There are consequences for being a Black man that a lot of people don't have to deal with. And we'll be like, you must protect us at all costs because the arms of the system gonna be on this dude. We'll never be like, but the arms of the patriarchal system that were on her shoulders and trying to force her mouth open. That was also a system. And that is also something that's turned against a Black woman who also deals with negative repercussions for the race, not being believed. Even the way that she is sexualized because her lyrics are sexual means we can violate her body.
Right.
It's a very Black woman thing. You see this dark-skinned Black woman, all of a sudden we don't gotta respect her. Cardi been rapping about pussy, Megan been rapping about pussy, everybody rapping about pussy. But something about her, we don't gotta respect that. She a certain type of Black woman, but we won't step onto that ledge and talk about the systemic issues there. But when she says, I need to stand up for myself, now here we come with the systemic issues, right? Whoa. Let's not put a Black man, because now we can't be doing this to each other. You know, like all of a sudden,
all of a sudden the rules and everything changes. And you know, I think as the generation changes, and particularly as women get older, and most of them, there has been some form of sexual harassment, be it rape, be it touching, be it feeling, be it something from family members, loved ones, strangers. It's all over the place. But yet, if you ask people, all these women and people and people who identify as women, you be like, oh, have you been raped? Yeah. Have you been sexually assaulted? Yeah. Have been people talk about your titties since your titties first popped up? Yeah. But yet men goes, no, nobody's raping them. Well, then how are these victims then if nobody's raping them?
Every woman has a story. I'm not saying they're all sexual, like rape.
Mm-hmm.
Every woman has a story. Period. I don't have a woman friend who don't have a story. At least, and I'm being generous saying a, because we know it's more than one.
Most have multiple.
Yeah. We know it's more than one, but every woman got a story. And there are dudes who are just like, those was boys. Well, that's just an outlier. That's the man you chose. We would never say it's a man thing, because then we would have to take some level of like accountability, responsibility, whatever word it is that we're running from it. And I think that's what the Sukihana conversation looked like to me. Mm-hmm. And I'll try not to get on here and do a lot of preaching about that shit. Mm-hmm. I really do. I've cut way down. But I haven't changed my mind.
Nope. Still the same.
I haven't changed my mind. I might have used different words than black men or the white people or black people. Like maybe just because it brought out such inflammatory responses. I'm like, well, that's never my goal. Like, I'm not trying to troll people. I'm trying to express something about how there's male privilege in these dynamics, even when we don't want to recognize it, even when it's not as simple as black and white, even when there's some things that oppress us that are, I would say, completely, wholly, strongly against black men in America. Like there's definitely some legal systems, some laws.
Yes.
Like it's not erasing our oppression to then be like, but within the system of our own intra community makeup, there are some abuses that happen because we know as cishet black men, we can put ourselves at the forefront and claim like you owe us some type of loyalty.
Yes, you owe. Yeah, and it's loyalty even to the death of you.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that's frustrating, because you have someone to go, oh, I'm not willing to die. Like you have a generation go, well, y'all whip my mama and them ass, my grandmama and them ass, but what you ain't gonna do is whip my ass, and I'm not willing to die for you.
I remember a couple years ago, I read this long thing about sexual. It was during the Me Too movement, and it was this long thing about sexual assault at Spelman and Morehouse, I think. And there was this like pressure. We read it on the show too. Mm-hmm. There was pressure on these black women who had been sexually assaulted at these schools to protect these good Morehouse brothers. Like that was yeah, you got sexually assaulted, but you gonna really mess up this brother's future. And that should tell you everything. And I'm sorry, like I said, I'm not sorry if you can't hear what I'm saying, if you getting defensive and bristling up, you don't fuck with me no more. I'm okay with that. Because I swear to God, I'm right. Mm-hmm. And I know you're wrong. And I think you deep down know you're wrong, which is why motherfuckers don't want to hear this from me. Because deep down, you know you're wrong. And and it's not, the thing that's wild is like, I'm not even necessarily talking to the YK Osiris nigga. I'm talking to the 8 people on stage that didn't say shit. You know you a don't say shit nigga. And because I am one, I gotta be the enemy now. That's the thing that's the feeling I get, even from my own folk. I love being a black man. I love black people. I love black men. I understand the weight that comes with that, with being a black man. I understand the ignorance that we have to fight through. I understand the deprogramming that has to happen. I get the dark humor. I get it all. Like, I'm not separate from black men, but in these situations, I always feel like when we talk about the systemic shit, people just jump into like, we need to fight against black women on this or something, as opposed to like, okay, this is a great example of a time where motherfuckers was wrong for that. The end. There's no need for another side here. This isn't, we're covering pride, let's go find the other side to this.
Right.
It's just wrong to be on the other side. You know, she should be able to rap whatever she rap, and we should just be like, that's a fucking entertainer.
Right.
If she was in a movie, we wouldn't be like, well, you did a raunchy sex scene. I guess I can just assault you now. We don't do that. You know, speaking of fucking with black people though, I feel like we're already playing the 0 to 100, Karen.
That get a Jakari is because it's just really, really frustrating.
Yeah.
And like you see, and you brought up something that I didn't even think about. I just think about her being a woman, but colorism probably does play a part in a role in how she's being treated to an extent, because like you say, people that are lighter skinned, they don't do this to.
Yeah,
you know?
and this is one of the reasons when we, like I said, I try to stay out of colorism discussion because it can get murky.
Yes.
And I don't think it's as linear as people like to point it out sometimes.
Agreed.
And I think the outliers fuck people up, the contradictions fuck people up. But one of the things I try to always be clear about when we talk about colorism is that sexually, romantically wanting someone is not the same thing as respecting them, empowering them. It's not the same thing as seeing somebody as an equal.
Right.
So when people say the way I combat colorism is by, you know, saying black women are dark-skinned women are attractive, or I would fuck them or whatever, I get the rudimentary point you're trying to make is because you think empowerment for women is about wanting to fuck them, or I'm not colorist, I would have sex with a dark-skinned woman. Well, congratulations, your penis works.
Right.
But that's the thing. The reason I push back on it is because a lot of times dark-skinned women actually deal with a lot of hypersexualization. It's she must be sexually aggressive. She must be easy, quote unquote. She must be because she's dark-skinned. And her rapping, like the same way these Cardi can rap about this shit, we're not seeing this type of behavior towards her. You know, but I think, you know, like you said, her possibly not being like male, let someone vouching for her as a man. That's a great point. I don't know for a fact, to be honest. I don't know her dating life like that.
Me either.
But that's a great point. And also I think her being it's her aesthetic. There's a certain type of like, oh yeah, you're basically a sex worker whore, you know, and I think that comes from white supremacy, slavery, right? All that shit. I give it Jakars too, man. And Meek Mill, man, shame on him, dog. Like, we got you out of jail just to be stupid, man. I can't believe this shit.
Hey, we're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them black people. We're just fucking with them blacks. We're just fucking with black people. Hey, hey, you are.
Well, I'll tell you somebody that I didn't expect to be on our side of this conversation, but I think he is.
Oh shit! What happened?
Karen, I hope you're ready for this.
Okay.
I know you're sitting down.
I don't know if I'm ready.
I hope you're ready. Okay. But we got some company here on the side of the why we have to make everything the black woman's fault. And it's not the company you expect.
Where the lawyer at? Where the business owner at? Where your city council person at? We abandon black boys and then we blame black men for poor choices in mates that they should not even have to make if we did a better job raising our boys the right way. At the end of the day, if I'm gonna call myself a man, the ultimate responsibility for reconstruction of the black community rests with me. Yes, they have a role. Yes, they have responsibility. But as a man, as a leader, to say I can't fix this shit unless she changes, that's not the definition of a man.
I don't see. I think we're on two different accords. Like, I don't think we're saying that. What I'm saying is I'm capable of being that leader, that provider. I've worked hard in my life. You get what I'm saying? I should not have to.
You still go back to individualism.
But I only feel like we tell black men that we have to now deal with masculine women, women with children.
Why is she masculine? because she's had to raise the kids alone. Not one woman,
So you mean
brother.
to tell me
a whole community.
So you mean to tell me the only woman I could look forward in my life is a masculine woman that has kids by other men?
No,
that's what I have to look forward to.
But I'm telling you, mistakes made by black men systemically gave rise to the conditions that allowed her to be masculine and made her end up with a man that you consider to be less than what he should be. And I'm telling you, black men are responsible for her being masculine because we have not helped her raise them children.
I am
and
not.
when I say help them raise them children, I don't mean you as the stepdad.
No,
I mean you as an active member in the community where we go to every single parent black mother and say, how many sons you got? 2? How many sons you got? 2? Well, guess what? That's your son's big brother. That's your son's big brother. He taking them to school. He doing the homework. He gonna spend a couple hours with him every Saturday. He got his own kids too, but he gonna make time for you. She got masculine because she had to become masculine in order to deal with the rape, the abuse, the domestic violence, the disappointments that men had in her life, and also raising those kids and have to take care of herself all at the same time. The black woman has been the be all in all in our community for half of a century. And now we want to turn around and say because she didn't do it perfectly enough or remain feminine enough when she had to absorb our responsibilities plus her own, that's insensitive and disingenuous.
Come on now.
That's
a motherfucking word.
If you don't recognize that voice, that is Dr. Umar Johnson. Which I don't.
I am shocked. I did not see that coming. That came out of left field. It's gonna last a full 24 hours and he'll be back. But hey, I give credit where credit due.
Somebody got to send them boys to his fake school, okay? And it's gonna be black women. So I guess he finally figured it out. You know, there's then I guess before they got to that conversation, this is the first half of that conversation. I should have played this first.
Did black men willingly leave the household, or was it the system that was?
It was systemic.
All right. So how if we giving them grace for them having to do it without us, but it wasn't our fault? How are we not getting that same grace and that same respect?
I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because black men, as the leaders of the community, now
we can't be leaders.
Here's the question we got to make. Here's the question. Because the argument y'all make, feeds into the feminist agenda.
Okay,
it's an argument that says I don't want the responsibility.
I'm a leader.
I don't want to fix shit. Right? I'm gonna fall back and let her run everything. That's what the feminists tell. They say, look at them, making excuses for why they can't be better men, making excuses for why they can't make better men. You understand? Your argument feeds the feminist narrative.
That's not what we're making excuses for.
I'm saying I am the better man, but I shouldn't be held responsible because you wanted to choose a Pookie and a Ray Ray. That's not me. I work too hard in my
go
life.
Back to what I said. Pookie and Ray Ray shouldn't exist. And the only reason why Pookie and Ray Ray exist because we're not in the community making those boys the men they need to be. You see that? And she don't get a Pookie if you didn't allow a Pookie.
But she got an Eli. She ain't come to Eli. She went to Pookie. And that's what we're trying to say.
She wouldn't have had a Pookie if we didn't allow one.
Hard in my life.
She wouldn't have had a Pookie if we didn't allow one.
But Dr. Umar,
men supposed to make the raise the boys.
Right. We as men, let's hold the other men accountable for the same thing that you talking about right now.
What are we doing for the young brothers in the street? So
what you mean, mentoring them? No, I mean he's a great father.
I ain't talking that's individual. That's good, but that's individualism.
Yeah.
What are we doing collectively as men to change the trajectory for black boys in the streets right now? Nothing.
We're being
but talking shit.
Yeah, I mean you could take
it's not going to get better unless we put hands on deck. The reason the athletes and the rappers are the role models is the professional black man moved out the hood. Where the dentist at? He ain't in the black community no more. Where the lawyer at? Where the business owner at? Where your city council person at? We abandon black boys and then we blame black men for poor choices in mates that they should not even have to make if we did a better job raising our boys the right way. At the end of the day, if I'm gonna call myself a man, the ultimate responsibility for reconstruction.
Wow. All right then, Dr. Umar. Does this nigga really,
I did not see that coming.
He accidentally fell into some bell hooks or some shit, like, and it's still steeped in a lot of, like, you know, shit. I'm not like saying he said it perfectly or whatever, but was that the devil advocate segment of the show? Like I was thrown off as them brothers that had him on there. I kept waiting for him to come back and be like, ha, just playing. It's black women's fault, you know?
Yeah, and listen to what he's saying. He's making a good point. Whenever you begin to talk about things, people do begin to individualize things. They know not about you as a collective, and the collective matters. You know, the collective matters. It's, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, he brings up a lot of good points. It's like we quote unquote blame the women for the bad choices, but we don't hold the men accountable for not staying, you know, and that becomes a problem.
Yeah, I remember we used to have a guest on the show, and he was gonna make he called it a documentary or something, but he was gonna make something about black women being hood rats and all this shit. And it was about that time. I was like, yeah, because we have discussions on the show. I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me, because in order for everything to have been black women's fault, you just have to completely act like black men had no role in any of this.
Right.
So when you like, well, they're not around, they're not being fathers, I said, yeah, that's a bad thing. Well, it's because the women are running them off. So you telling me that there's a woman that can keep you away from your kid if you really want to be in your kid's life?
If you really want to be.
If like you and one, I have to believe that. And then all the black women, you know, like it was like, but it was so obvious. Like the hole in the logic was whatever I can say to blame black women. And at the end of the day, it leads to that point that Umar made, which is, so then how can you say all this stuff about being the all-powerful community leader, alpha male, when you're telling me I can't be a leader? I'm not a leader. I'm not going to raise my kid. I'm not responsible for other black men. I'm not responsible for the black girls. I'm not responsible for black women. I'm not. When you say, so then what? So, and that's when he said, that is feeding into what feminists say when they say we have to step up because you don't. You're literally saying I'm not going to step up. So, you know, and I understand people will be like, well, that's shitting on feminists. That group of people don't. He's using their shit against them. Now, I expect he believes in it too. I don't think he. But that's the point they were gonna run to, is like these bad feminists, and he was like, but now you're doing what the feminists say you do. So how can you really make them seem like they're bad guys when you're fucking willingly being like, I'm not gonna raise my kids? That's crazy. Or whatever, you know.
And I'm not gonna hold nobody up. You know, it's dudes. We were listening to a podcast, and one dude's on the podcast say something, and I applauded him for this. The person on the podcast was like, "Oh, I don't have no friends that's deadbeat dads." I was like, "Thank God." Do you know how many men hang with niggas that they know not taking care of their kids and shit like that? When they be like, "Nigga, take care of your kids. Go pay child support." Like that shit matters.
All right, 0 to 100.
0 for him. 100 for the
I'm
other
shocked.
two.
I'm honestly
0 for him.
I don't think I've ever brought Dr. Umar on the show and said 0. 0.
The 0, my nigga.
Wow. Who knew? So my thing is, why can't you just do that all the time? You know, like maybe he's built up enough hotel street cred that he can change some hearts and minds. I know I can't.
I can't either.
I don't got
the hotel clock is right twice a day.
They don't respect me, and maybe they try and cancel him on the hotel side. I don't follow none of them. So
me either.
I haven't seen it. I can't speak to that experience, but damn, good job, buddy.
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
All right, guess the race time. Time to go around the globe, find different articles, guess the race of people involved. And who knows what happens in these articles? It's all crimes and shady shit. So, you know, you've been warned. A man who crashed into a bear while biking in Canada is glad to be alive.
That bear didn't fuck him up. What color was the bear?
A black bear. He T-boned a black bear while biking through a conservation reserve. He suffered a fractured scapula, cardiac contusion, and bruised ribs.
Goddamn, what is the first two?
Fractured scapula?
What the fuck is a scapula?
I guess I'll look it up.
Thank you.
Flat triangular bone, the shoulder blade.
Oh.
So, And then the cardiac contusion. Contusion is like a bruise. So he got a heart bruise from running into this bear and bruised ribs. Kevin Milner.
See, and you see, they've done studies that say that I think we read an article how black people have a tendency to not see black people. See, same thing. Black bears, you didn't see them.
That's a good point, Karen. Thank you.
I just had to bring that up.
Thank you for seeing those bears.
Yep, that's why I had to ask about the bears. What color was the bear? Because that matters. I bet you was a white bear, you would have seen them.
Yep, you would have seen it then.
Thank you. Black bear lives matter.
Kelvin Milner, 30 of North Vancouver, British Columbia, was rounding a corner and heading down hill in the Lower Seymour Conservation Reserve there Tuesday when he spotted the bear and tried to cruise around him. The second I made that decision, he decided to run and ran right across the road, right in front of me, and I smashed into him right behind his shoulder blade. I did a flip over him, pretty much kissed the bear, and then I guess I flew through the air. He landed hard on his side while the bear took off through the woods. Passing cyclists immediately stopped and helped him. Two women cyclists concerned about his condition rode toward the edge of the reserve to get enough cell reception to call 911, while a third bystander who had been riding the e-bike stayed with Milner. But the next arrival wasn't an ambulance or the EMS. It was the same bear. He was like, "Oh shit, dude, he's back. The bear's back," Milner said. Man, those bears are built like a truck. I thought I was going to die. The bear, however, seemed unfazed by the bystanders, tending to Milner. He was just kind of looking at me really curious, kind of like, "What's up with you?" Then the bear just started eating grass. He pretty much just carried on with his day. As the minutes passed and his adrenaline began wearing off, Milner said he became impatient, waiting for help, noting he was spitting up blood and worried he may have suffered internal bleeding. He said he also couldn't lift his leg, let alone walk. Milner said he convinced the bystander to lend him his e-bike and help him ride to the entrance of the forest. While they were leaving, he passed the young women who were trying to call 911 for him. The ambulance paramedics met him at the edge of the woods and took him to the hospital where he's kept overnight. So guess the race.
God damn, that bear was a tank. I didn't realize bears were built like that. You said the bear's black and the person that hit him was white.
All right, let's check the chat room, see what they believe. The black bear wanted the white biker's insurance information. This is a hate crime white. The black bear innocent white. These people weren't concerned with the bear. Of course, he is white. Yogi said it is what it is, player white. The correct answer is and I think all y'all said white. You all got it correct. Yeah.
Oh! God damn, that bear must have been built like a motherfucking brick wall.
I wonder if he was moving really fast on the bike, or it's just, bears is just that fucking like strong.
I bet he was moving on the bike. I bet, because he probably was just just do, and that bear was like, what? He was like, poof. And one of them had like an e-bike too.
Yeah. The bear didn't even really want to hurt him.
No, the bear was like, well, I guess let me go back to what I was doing.
Right. Oh, some grass over here. A man on Venus rooftop throws pieces of wood at firefighters.
What's you gonna accomplish with that?
I don't know.
Was the building on fire?
It doesn't. I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't seem like it was a plan, Karen.
I don't think so either.
Didn't seem. Just hazarding a guess. Didn't seem like a well thought out criminal mastermind.
And here we go. We'll show it to you now. This all took place around 11:30 near the intersection of Main Street and Rose Avenue. The man refused to come down from the roof. At one point, he picked up a large piece of wood and threw it down to the ground near the police and firefighters who were on the scene there. We're told the man was initially seen on top of a Metro bus. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. It's not clear if that man was taken into custody or what led up to the incident.
Yeah, they said the firefighters and police just left the scene after about 90 minutes.
Left him on top of a bus?
On top of the roof. He was on top of he climbed on top of a bus on top, then got on top of a roof, which had construction going on, and he started throwing the wood at the firefighters and police that showed up to rescue him. So then after 90 minutes, they said, we got better shit to do. Guess the race. And they don't know if he was arrested.
White.
All right. White nonsense. He wasn't arrested. White says Yeti. WTT, which I think means white from Sierra. A lot of white going on here. Bright white. The correct answer is white. That big ass piece of wood. That's way bigger than 2x4.
Woo!
I guess he wish a nigga would. So I get paid the big bucks, everybody.
Apparently so.
All right. Let's go into the bonus round. Karen is 2 for 2.
That was why. I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to
gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big dive, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
Winner of European Sex Championships hits out at porn stars who left chaotic event. A woman who claims to be declared the winner of the European Sex Championships has slammed those who walked out of the chaotic event. The competition for the continent's elite sex performers flopped miserably, with contestants claiming to have been screwed out of thousands of pounds earlier this month.
Must have been deflated.
Yeah, must have been impotent. We reported how the controversial 6-week contest, but 6 weeks. Woo! The amount of rug burn.
Are y'all taking breaks? What the fuck is this?
I mean, obviously they're taking breaks, but 6 weeks. Oh, wow, that's the sex Olympics. Began to much fanfare when the 16 adult performers from across the continent descended on a secret location near Gothenburg, Sweden. But it quickly emerged that the competition described later as a low-budget Big Brother was out of control. People do watch Big Brother to see who's going to hook up, so maybe this is just skipping the middleman. The situation's gotten out of control. It's chaos. More than that, it's turned into a horror film, said contestant Selva Lepidra. As part of the competition, the performers were required to have sex for at least 45 minutes a day, with their sessions marked on a range of factors, including stamina, technique, and creativity. Hey, that's how I do it around here. After I have sex, I'm like, and the dismount. Oh, the Russian judge is a hater. Female entrants thought they would cash in on the 690 pounds or euros for every day they stayed in the steamy pad, while men were set to receive 345 pounds per day. Of course, there's a dick surplus in the market, and of course, dick is not going for the same rates.
Isn't it? Not that funny. It is shit.
We're not tuning in for the men. Okay,
we are not.
There's a reason whenever they do porn compilations, it's never like the best of Justin Slayer. Not saying that shouldn't exist, just saying it don't. It's a reason.
We did not come for the dicks.
It's like it's a 4-hour compilation of, and you can name every porn star woman in the world, and it's a 4-hour compilation. Unless it's gay porn.
I'm about to say, unless it's gay.
Ain't no fucking compilation of the men stars. Julian St. Jacques gives you the hits from all the way back to Afrocentrics. Dangling in front of them was a cool this article. 860,000 pounds of hard cash promised for the winner. Oh man, that'd be a big money shot. They could win that.
Yay.
But it emerged today, June 19th, that not on Juneteenth, that all the contestants left the house over claims that organizers Dragan Bratic and the Swedish Sex Federation have failed to pay them. Oh, I remember the Swedish Sex Federation. They used to wrestle in WWE back in the day. It used to be the Nation of Domination versus the Swedish Sex Federation. They used to go back and forth. I say, oh my goodness. However, a woman claiming to be the winner has told a different story. Croatian adult star Marija Zadrevec said, man, that it's bad when I've never heard of the porn star,
Right. You a connoisseur now.
I know there's a certain level of just, I guess you get to a certain type of white woman. I'm just like, I don't need to know this.
But you know a plethora of them.
Yeah, I'm not keeping up with this lady. She says, I am not a person who wants problems from this because we all had the opportunity to choose ourselves. So there is no need to put pressure on the organizers after everything. As for my experience, it was great. And I would like it to happen again one day because something like this is not a little thing. This is a very big project. And the organizer wanted to make all of us big, famous world names and give us the opportunity to make a very good profit.
Man, we only know your name. We don't know the rest of the people that participated.
So everyone should be grateful for that because the whole world wrote about it and everyone benefited from the advertisement from that project. We agreed on everything, what the fee would be, the method of payment, other details, receive a detailed contract, which I signed. And the organizer of the competition, Dragon Botrick, spoke out, claiming that many of the competitors ignored the rules. Okay. He says they even brought alcohol to the house. They did not act like sportsmen at all. All contestants are therefore disqualified from the competition. Well, see, that's a setup. You knew they was bringing that alcohol. They're porn stars. They need their medicine. Come on, buddy. It's not fair.
And to an extent, I understand because he's like, no, we actually want you to perform. We don't want anything kind of influencing your performance.
What, everybody got to come from a stable household too? Like, these are some rigged rules. And we disqualified everybody, and I kept all the money myself. Who could have foreseen that some of them would not have come from two-parent households? I don't know what happened. Anyway, I'll keep all the money. Thanks.
Get rid of all the drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, that's a terrible rule. Porn stars that can't use alcohol and drugs is all porn stars. The fucking point. The fuck porn star. What's the point of being what's the point of being an NBA player if you can't do drugs and alcohol? What's the point of being 24? What the fuck is wrong with this guy? One of those who left, the 24-year-old Talia Mint, has announced she is taking legal action against Mr. Broderick and the Swedish Sex Federation for compensation. Oh, I can't wait to see that trial on court TV.
Right.
Yeah, that'll be pretty good. Fuck. I just realized I said her race when I said she was a white woman. That's why I didn't know her name. So, all right, free square, everybody. You got that one?
I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah, but someone in the audience picked it up, I'm sure. White woman. Y'all got a free square.
Okay, I thought you guys were what color were the man of the Federation?
Nah, I don't know his race. I tried to look up his name just now, and the pictures of her came back, which what? How's that?
Same thing. They attached the woman with everything.
Yeah.
They don't need to kill the race. They was like, put a woman up there first.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can guess his race. Yeah, let's guess his race.
Okay.
Guess the race of Dragon Botrick.
Russian, I'm assuming white.
All right. Karen says white. Oh, you all got it right. Congratulations, everybody. We know y'all were going to say white. The fact that none of us had heard of these people, we knew it was all white.
None of us had heard of these people. I didn't even know this was an event that happened.
Like if I would have been like, Cherokee the ass said in the article that she didn't, then y'all would have been like, oh, maybe. You know. Roxy Reynolds was very upset that she didn't get paid. Like, nah, y'all don't know these names. All right, let's go to the sword ratchetness and wrap it up. A man has been arrested. Honolulu police, Hawaii, arrested a 25-year-old man accused of threatening multiple people with a samurai sword in Chinatown. Oh, why you got a Chinatown? Authorities said the suspect was taken into custody before 5:30 p.m. Officials say he used the sword to threaten a security guard and another man. Private security officers were able to detain the suspect until police arrived to take him into custody. Wow. Yeah, I say you didn't really want it that bad if you got arrested by private security.
The dude with the flashlight,
Right?
In the billy club.
You really weren't much of a threat at all. He faces 4 counts, including terroristic threat charges. No injuries were reported. You know what I find amazing, and I'm sure the person that left that comment on our YouTube page will find this amazing as well. Didn't have to kill him. This man had a sword, made threats to people, and they didn't have to subdue him and then hold him down for 15 minutes while he choked to death. Huh? Wow. Who knew? You know, I didn't know that was possible. I don't think any of us did, you know?
Man, look, I hear you. It's funny to me too. I mean, it's strange to me too.
All right, that's our show. We'll be back probably not Saturday, because we did 2 episodes this week. So we'll probably stick to this schedule of not that many episodes in a week. And I know tomorrow, if you're premium, we got Balls Deep Sports tomorrow.
We're doing Balls Deep tomorrow?
Yeah,
All
and then
right.
Friday, and right before the draft, by the way, the draft is Thursday. So
oh, shit.
Get all of our Charlotte Hornets, what we're going to do with the number 2 pick thoughts. And Friday is the Nerd Off. So premium people, y'all getting your money's worth.
Yeah, premium people, y'all still been getting movie reviews and stuff like that. So premium people still been getting stuff. So for those of you that's like, I'm all caught up, what to do? Well, you can do just a tip for $5 on Spotify, or you can put in the whole 15 and see what we doing on the off days.
All right, y'all. So until